So lights come up on the gantry. Ready for action. Oh, a little creep forward there from R53. We shouldn't break the timing beam. Ready for the time to go out. There we go. Off we go. We're racing in the Scottish Mini Coopers.
Yeah, good start from Rich Flett in the 14 car in the Cooper S class, and he is side by side with the other Cooper S car coming down the hill there. The four of them in a group actually, and then into turn 3 they go at McIntyre's, and somehow Ashley Morris has managed to drop down into 4th position, and it's the Wilkinson car that's leading that pack up over the bow of the chicane, and what a lead he's got. Ross Wilkinson way out in front, and Ashley Morris dropping back almost into the hands of the Mini Coopers behind them. Ollie Mortimer then leading the main Mini Cooper field, and he's almost catching Ashley Morris. Chad Little in 2nd place there, I think that is, up behind him. A good start from Chad Little as they come up through Clark Corner, and then we've got the 18 car of Daniel Patterson just tucked in behind them. Yellow flags and safety car boards out as they come through the hairpin for the first time. We'll have to have a little scan around to see what the drama is. Somebody's in the tyre wall on the chicane exit. Yeah. Is that Martin Woodjachunga by any chance?
I don't know. I just can't quite tell the car number.
I have a feeling it might be.
It's a rookie. I can see that, so that's increases the chances. I think it's Curtis Patterson, 164.
Right. Yeah, I'm just watching to see who's coming through, and 12 is Jacob Heap is through. So that's one, and Martin Woodjachunga's through with him as well. So the two of them are safe so far. So it's not one of them. So it doesn't disrupt the rookie championship. But whoever's got off, that's most unfortunate lap 1 of the race. But hopefully a quick recovery, because I think he's just reached the tyre wall, but it doesn't look as though there'd be damage. I think it's just a quick tow out once there's a break in the traffic.
I hope they put enough petrol in the Honda Civic pace car.
Yes, you start to wonder at a time like this. It's been very, very busy today. The recovery discovery on its way, and we'll just have to wait for a couple of laps behind the safety car. Good driving by Ross Wilkinson actually, because these cars don't have race control to car radios in them, but he's seen the safety car boards and he has sensibly slowed down to safety car speed, despite the fact the safety car isn't actually yet in front of them.
So 21, Ross Wilkinson in the lead. Not been a good start to the race for Ashley Morris, having started on the front row of the grid, started in pole position, now back to 4th place, unfortunately.
Yes, and cars now about to meet the safety car, and they'll be headed round by Andrew Barron.
Alan Barron,
yes.
Been calling everybody Andrew today.
Andrew
yes. Baptiste.
Just as well Alan Kirkcaldy and Andrew Kirkcaldy are not involved. That's the famous one. That's the famous one. Yes.
Yeah. So behind the safety car then for the minis, and this is where tire temperature is important, because when the rear tires get cold and you lose temperature in them, the car can be really quite tricky to handle. Also as well, the Coopers, they don't have the same amount of power through the front wheels to really keep the fronts in temperature as well, so they've got to be careful to keep everything up to temperature as best they can behind the safety cars. They go relatively steady through the safety car, particularly through the area where there needs to be work done. So the recovery discovery has had a busy day today. Pulls the stricken 164 Mini of Curtis Patterson out of the gravel trap, as the fielder led very, very slowly, of course, for safety past that point. Discovery has to take a brief pause in the recovery job to allow the entire field of minis to come through, and then we can, and then it shouldn't be too long before we get back racing as well, and quite handily as well, Doc. That's a part of the circuit where the car can be pulled to a point of safety very quickly.
Yes, it's just across the road and parked behind the marshal's post at the chicane,
right next to the scramble point of the recovery discovery.
Yeah, and unless of course it is a condition where the driver will just drive it away, but we'll see what happens. I suspect they might give him the chance to carry on, although he's obviously a lap or two down now, but we shall see their toe rope has been detached anyway. So yeah, I think the car's going to move on its own. Well, with the driver at the controls, obviously.
An autonomous Mini.
Yes.
Let's not get started with that one.
No. That could keep us going for a while. We'll wait for a quiet day on track.
Autonomous racing cars, yeah, okay. Explain that one to me.
Yes. So, anyway, we're quite a spread of the field. Considering we're behind the safety car, they've got well spread out here, but I would imagine that will close up fairly quickly.
Whoa, Ollie Mortimer, the master of the spectacular safety car driving, he's very, very nearly spun that. He was just leaping, the rear wheel was in the air there, cocking away, and just trying to generate as much temperature as possible there, whipping the steering wheel back and forth. Do not try that at home. Do not try that on your next track day, because you'll end up spinning around.
Yes. Well, I've seen it done actually in a Mini, but not at Knockhill. But Ollie Mortimer is always entertaining to watch when it comes to tyre warming. He takes it to extremes, as you'll see, because he's bound to keep doing this as the safety car continues around. They really are remarkably spread out, because there's every chance the safety car lights are going to go out in the next 10 seconds or so. And
it's free time.
Ollie Mortimer doesn't have to stay behind Ashley Morris at the tail of the Cooper S field. His main thing is to just stay in the lead of the Coopers. So the Coopers, though, are spread out over a huge distance, and the Cooper S is the same. It's yes.
Actually, Ollie Mortimer doesn't want to get too close to the Cooper S's in case they start getting in a big old battle. It's unlikely, but he doesn't need to be too close to them, as you say.
But the Cooper S's, I would have thought, would be closer together, especially the battle.
Ollie Mortimer does a massive slide there coming through Clark Curve.
Yeah,
how you get a front-wheel drive car to unstick like that is quite amazing.
Yes, and Rich Flett and Jamie Blake. I don't know why Jamie Blake isn't right on Rich Flett's rear bumper, as was almost a nose-to-tail shunt in the Minis. As
I think they're listening to us.
Ollie Mortimer gets things under control. Yes, now they're all bumper to bumper, and the same with the Cooper S's have closed up a little bit. Ashley Morris a little bit further off the back than would have been ideal, but they've passed the first green flag, so they are now racing. And Rich Flett in the 14 Minis looking pretty serious about trying to get onto terms with the number 21 car ahead of him, which is Ross Wilkinson. Meanwhile, Ollie Mortimer leads Chad Little, and then Daniel Patterson across the line and on to the second phase of this race now, the post safety car.
So we've got 9.5 laps to go then after that little interruption. So head up towards Clark Curve then. Full green flag conditions now as the Cooper field, they're just making the way from the chicane all the way. The train goes all the way back to McIntyre. There's a big pack of Coopers as the Cooper S's, they come through. Hislop's now flat out. Rich Flett trying to put the pressure on the 21 of Ross Wilkinson, who nearly got the win yesterday, but not quite. It went the way of Ashley Morris, who sits in fourth. And these top four in that Cooper S Championship, they're very, very closely matched so far. And of course, it's a dogfight for the championship. This race is the championship for the Cooper S's.
Yes, by my calculations, yep, it should be the situation. Whichever one of them finishes ahead of the other is going to take the Cooper S Championship.
Well, so big stakes then for the Cooper S's as they come down through Leslie's and then into McIntyre's. Then very, very tight between those leading four, with 8.5 laps to go then. Ross Wilkinson with the fastest lap of the race so far, at least, a 104.832. But I think that if it stays dry, that lap time is going to come down throughout the race.
Yeah, definitely. It's the track, as we saw in previous races, the track is evolving. It's getting quicker as we go through the races, as long as we don't get more rain, obviously. But that is going to make a difference. Further down the Cooper pack, there's a nice little battle developing. Jason Ballantyne just picking up a place there as they come through Clark Corner. He's been battling with Stuart McFadden, and Stuart McFadden in the white car, Jason Ballantyne in the grey car, and they're side by side now as they head down towards the hairpin. That is battling over 8th and 9th, or 9th and 10th positions overall, and they're still side by side as they turn through the hairpin. And they're still side by side on the exit of the hairpin. So quite a fight going on there in the sort of top end of the midfield of the Minis. And Jason Ballantyne now on the right hand side of the road. They're side by side as they cross the line. They've been side by side all the way from Clark Corner, and they're now under the bridge still together in towards Duffus, and Jason Ballantyne I think has got it done now. Yeah, he's got the inside line, and down the hill he goes ahead of Stuart McFadden.
In the Cooper S is Ross Wilkinson just starting to put the hammer down a little bit. Fastest lap of the race last time by with a 104.1, but it's really tight between the two championship contenders. The red number 97 of Jamie Blake is right on the tail of Rich Flett as they head in towards the hairpin, and this is of course the battle for the championship, as we know. Coming out the hairpin now, up the hill, 7 laps to go, and Blake is getting closer. He's got the rest of the Cooper S field, they've got the sort of solid headlamp covers, whereas Blake, he's got his headlights on, shining in the mirrors of his championship rival. But on the brakes, Rich Flett is really good on the brakes as Blake takes the fastest lap of the race at 104.150, but Flett really good on the brakes and right onto the back of Wilkinson, who's just steadied the pace a little.
Yeah, now yesterday's winner, Ashley Morris, just doesn't seem to be quite on the same pace as those other ones today in these slightly damper conditions. But of course, if they tangle at all, and now there's a chance Jamie Blake challenging as they exited the chicane against Rich Flett. Did he have enough momentum to get alongside as they get to Clark Corner? Not quite, but he's certainly piling the pressure on. He was fairly calm and measured in the first couple of laps of the race, but now he's really switched everything on.
Yeah, wants to get a move on here, does Rich Flett, and if he could put the number 21 of Ross Wilkinson between him, and I think he might do. He is a move for the lead now. Oh no, not quite, couldn't quite do it, but Wilkinson, has he got a bit deep on the brakes? I think he has. Oh, but manages to just tuck it back a little bit and gets the power down early actually, so Ross Wilkinson somehow gets it all together, and here comes Blake. This is the move for the championship. Side by side the two championship contenders, underneath the Beatson's Bridge they go, and Blake's around the outside, but remember how good Flett is on the brakes. But no, it's Jamie Blake then who moves up into second and into the provisional championship lead.
Yeah, 6 laps to go, so we're about half distance, and yes, this Rich Flett, is he going to respond to this now? What's he got to challenge Jamie Blake as they head down the hill through Butchers and up over the chicane? And Jamie Blake fast through the chicane. He's challenging Wilkinson now for the lead of the race as they go along towards Clark Corner. He was very quick through the chicane. Is he going to be close enough? Not this time through, but he's certainly going to be close enough to pick up a toe along his lops towards the hairpin, and certainly going to be in a position to challenge for the lead as they get towards the hairpin. Ashley Morris meanwhile has set the fastest lap.
Here comes Blake up the inside then at the hairpin he goes. Can he make it? No. Ducks back into position. Oh, gets a little nudge from behind from Rich Flett. That was all a bit of a misunderstanding there, but Wilkinson hangs on. Blake goes wide coming out the hairpin, and here comes Rich Flett on the fight back with the number 14 John Clark Motor Group car. In the slipstream he goes, just as he changes up a gear, just loses a little bit of momentum. Underneath the Beatson's Bridge they go then into Duffus. Blake hanging on to second for now, and right onto the back of your race leader Ross Wilkinson. They all set a personal best on that last lap by.
Yeah, it's a fantastic race in the Cooper S class. Normally we focus on the Coopers and we kind of forget about the Cooper S's, but this is fantastic stuff. And Jamie Blake once again very, very quick through the chicane, to the point he had to lift off on the exit because he was going to run into the back of Ross Wilkinson. Such was his approach speed. Along they come now to Clark Corner, and Wilkinson still hanging on in the lead, but Jamie Blake desperate to get past him and put Wilkinson between himself and Rich Flett in the 14 car.
Jamie Blake uses just a little bit more of the road coming out of Clark. Big block there from Ross Wilkinson as Blake showed the inside, and Wilkinson just shut the door hard as they came into the braking zone there. So Wilkinson really throwing every play in the playbook here to try and keep Jamie Blake at bay, and Blake appears to have the pace, but Wilkinson holding on to the lead for now with 3 laps to go.
An unusual race performance from Wilkinson, because normally when it's a guest car and there's a championship at stake, the guest car will get out of the way, but there's no reason why they should do that, but that's normally the etiquette. But no criticism for Wilkinson. If he wants to win the race, there's only one way to do it, that's to finish in front of the others. So that's exactly what he's setting out to do.
And they're going to come across a little bit of traffic here. There's one of the rear enders on the Cooper field, so they'll get, I think they might well get through coming between Clark, the chicane and Clark, and Wilkinson and Blake may get through, but can Flett get through? That's the question. No, Flett gets held up behind a little bit, getting past some of the Cooper traffic, and loses a couple of tenths of a second as they come through his lops now, and it's Wilkinson hanging on from Blake for now. There'll be 3 laps to go when they get up to the stripe.
Right, looking at the Cooper class at the moment, Ollie Mortimer out in front, Chad Little second, Robbie Dalgleish now up into 3rd position, and Robbie Dalgleish will be closing, or extending I should say, no, Ollie Mortimer will be closing the gap in the Knockhill Trophy and but Robbie Dalglish will still be in front on that one. And yes, there's excitement though in the Cooper S's, Peter.
There is, yeah. Fastest lap of the race just set by Ross Wilkinson, but he hasn't pulled away from Blake, who has a little look up the inside of McIntyre, shows his nose and can't quite get it done as they head through Butchers. Then it's Wilkinson leading from Blake, but Blake has clearly got a good bit of pace up his sleeve, but just can't get past Wilkinson, unfortunately. 2.5 laps to go. Can he manufacture something? He's good at Clark's because he uses all the exit room without breaking the track limits, it must be said, and carries a lot of speed, but can he get that move set up for the hairpin?
Yes, the place where he seems fastest is through Clark's. He's faster through the hairpin, and he's faster.
Here he goes.
Here he goes at the hairpin down the inside, but again, Wilkinson defends it well. He doesn't leave enough, or does he?
Wide. He's wide. Wilkinson's wide, and nearly comes back into the path of Rich Flett, who just sneaks by, and Morris gets by as well. So Wilkinson goes from first to fourth. What a mistake there. Blake is into the lead of the race, but Rich Flett is giving chase, who's just set the best lap of the race.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. What a development there. An understeer to oblivion from Wilkinson as he came into the hairpin there and dropped him down the order. But now that's not quite what I think Jamie Blake had planned. He was hoping to have a car between himself and Rich Flett, but now Rich Flett is on the attack, and Rich Flett has the fastest lap of the race at the moment as well, a 62.749 as he goes in pursuit of Jamie Blake. He's got to do something in the next 1.5 laps if he's going to steal the championship lead back again from Jamie Blake. Jamie Blake just has to keep it on the track and keep himself ahead of Rich Flett, and he will be champion.
Brilliant stuff, absolutely brilliant stuff here in the Cooper S's. Blake is just clearing away now. He's going to come across quite a bit of thick Cooper traffic. A lot of Cooper traffic are having their own battle. This could cause problems for any of the front Cooper S field, as they're going to come up to the line, 1 lap to go, and they well could come across a huge gaggle of 4 Cooper Cup cars. So this is far from done for the number 97 of Jamie Blake. Rich Flett is close enough to take advantage, and I tell you, he's on a real late race resurgence. Is Ashley Morris in third? She's right there too.
Yep, she's right on the tail of Rich Flett, and yes, there's a massive amount of traffic ahead of them. There's at least 6 or 7 cars they're going to have to pass. They're all fighting amongst themselves at the second half of the Mini Cooper field. There's also a big sideways moment for that was amazing stuff. Well held by Jason Ballantyne in the number 22 car. He completely sideways coming through Clark Corner. He was staring at me in the commentary box before he'd even reached the apex of the corner, and that's put Martin Winjatunga alongside him and allowed the car of Stuart McFadden to get back in front of him. They've been battling all through the race. In fact, Winjatunga has now passed both of them and leaving his title rival Jacob Heap well behind. Change
for second position. Rich Flett got held up so badly in traffic, and Ashley Morris managed to squeeze through. Jamie Blake though is getting through the massive gaggle of minis and comes up to the line. Jamie Blake is going to win here at Knockhill in the final race of the season for the Cooper S's.
Yep, and that makes Jamie Blake, by our commentary box on Arithmetic, the Cooper S champion of 2024. And that was a well-driven race by Jamie Blake. Had to work hard for that one. Meanwhile, in the Coopers, it's Ollie Mortimer out front. He's now heading in towards the hairpin for the final time. Chad Little a few yards behind him as Ollie Mortimer has got 1 car to lap. Ollie Mortimer, the silver car with the pink coloured windscreen strip coming up. It's Project 21 detailing windscreen strips, of course. That's the series sponsor. They come up to the line. Ollie Mortimer wins it in car 70, yet another race win for him this year. Chad Little home in second position, and then Robbie Dalglish 91, so he retains the lead in the Knockhill Trophy section of the championship. Ollie Mortimer extends his overall championship lead. Then Ian Munro's coming in fourth, and look at the battle behind. Martin Winjatunga just ahead now of the 2 cars that have been side by side for almost the entire distance. They're side by side as they come to the line. Who is going to win this battle? And it's just gone the way of the 22 car of Jason Ballantyne ahead of Stuart McFadden. The gap between them 25 thousandths of a second after running almost 12 laps side by side. Fantastic stuff in that battle, and that would give them overall, I think it's 7th and 8th overall in the order in the Cooper field, 11th and 12th on the road behind the Cooper S's. But great win for Jamie Blake, and that's one of the closest fought, most spectacular Mini Cooper S races we've had of the season.